Hey everyone, if this is your first journey on the island, or you think you're experienced because you've been to the highest spot on the mountain, you can expect that things are going to take a turn for the worse, and you're going to soon find yourself on an unpredictable journey as you wake to find you've crashed at one of 3 sites the world has to offer. In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly get to a hang glider in under 4 minutes from any of those 3 starting locations. When you start a new save, the game puts you in either the forest, on the mountain, or the beach. And this jerk just let everybody know we're here. No matter where you start out at, you're going to want to grab your gear, wake up Kelvin, open your supplies, and grab your GPS because we're going to take to the skies. Our first route takes place in the mountains. I made a map with a trail to show us the path, and I'm also going to show that map to keep progress of our location as I run this course. Before you jump in, I want to explain the levels of danger when running this trail. When it comes to enemies, I did not encounter any threats along this path. Since our environment has a cold setting and a high elevation, I don't think many cannibals make their way up here. As days pass, heavier and harder enemies tend to show up then, but since our adventure is still pretty new, we won't be seeing much resistance. The real danger to me was the land. When it comes to land features, the most dangerous areas are the cliffs. Since our character just survived the helicopter crash, our health is still low after searching for medicine in the wreckage. Mix that with the cold weather, and our stats like the stamina take a big hit. It's easy to get confused as to which way you're going, which means you can easily fall off a cliff if you aren't paying attention. When it came to resources, this path didn't really offer me any way to gain a meal. I didn't really encounter any enemies, wildlife, or edible plants. But there was a single stream to stop and drink from. But you have to ask if the risk of low health is worth the reward, as drinking from unclean water can drain health. Near the end of the path, we eventually run into 2 tents, which provide a mean to save, but don't really supply the player with any form of survival gear. Overall, while this path is the shortest, it was not very rich in resources. Our second route takes us to the forest. And I made a map with a trail to show us the path. I'm also going to show this map to keep progress of our location as I run this course. Before you jump in, I do want to also explain the levels of dangers when running this trail as well. When it came down to enemies, not long after I ran into the forest did I hear the sound of cannibals jumping from tree to tree. This made me nervous because I couldn't exactly see where they were jumping from. And soon after I discovered a small cannibal camp which appeared to not contain any residents on the ground. But this does not explain if the residents were on a hunt or not, so be cautious. When it came to land features, you find yourself crossing 2 separate streams, the first of which is pretty level to the ground, but the second stream however is slightly elevated, and you gotta be careful not to jump down too far, as your health is limited and your landing can be deadly. The position of the glider itself is on a hilltop made of rock, and a small step in the wrong direction can lead to your death. When it comes to resources, this area provides different ways to collect food and water. Many of the plants around provide ingredients to create different health and energy mixes, or provide just a light boost on the go. The area provides groups of wildlife from birds, deer, and salmon. And with cannibals jumping around, it's possible to collect their remains to cook for a meal. As mentioned before, the path also runs along 2 different streams which you can collect water from if needed. Overall, this path is about as long as the mountain path, but with more resources to gather. Our third route takes us to the beach. I made a map with a trail to show us the path, and I'm also going to show the map to keep progress of our location as I run this course. Before you jump in, I'm going to explain as well the levels of danger when running out this trail. When it comes to enemies, I have to say I didn't encounter any threats along the shore during this path. When I was near the grassy hills towards the end of the trail, things got a little scary as I heard noises throughout the bushes. That area at the end was covered in bushes and trees, so it was a bit harder to spot things crawling and hiding. When it comes to land features, there wasn't much to worry about until the end, as most of our run is on the coast. Near the end of the trail, you start climbing a large hill, and it's not until the end you encounter any cliffs, so make sure to stay alert at that time. When it comes to resources, this path had so much to offer. For food, you have the option to gather fish from the shores, and given the length of the beach, they're fish for days. Another option I noticed a lot of were the birds. Seagulls are always dropping by to eat the starfish found on the shore, and that makes them prime targets as they also provide feathers to use for making arrows. Also along the beach you can find large turtles, which supply not only their meat but offer their shells to make traps and collect water. There are several spots along this path that were used by other travelers, so you can collect the gear that they left behind. These include cloth, sodas, explosives, and even a pair of binoculars. Overall, this path is the longest, but it's the most valuable of the 3 paths. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like if it helped you out. Later.